course, you've been invited here with us to talk about cartoon villains.
Okay.
Take us back to, like, young Ben, Saturday mornings, pajamas, big bowl of cereal. Like, what were your, like, go-to cartoons?
Let's talk about go-to cereals first.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
You can't.
First of all, this is before I knew I was lactose intolerant. So we have a huge. I would use a Tupperware thing instead of a bowl.
Okay.
I was a maniac. We have our what's the chocolate version of the? Is it Cocoa Krispies or something like that? What's it called?
Are you thinking of, like, Cocoa Pebbles?
Not Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa
Snap,
Krispies.
Snap, Crackle, and Pop. They make Rice Krispies.
Cocoa Krispies.
It is Cocoa Krispies.
Cocoa Krispies.
Yeah.
With that briefcase full of chocolates, everybody knows my Cocoa Krispies.
Cartoons growing up. Well, favorite cartoons growing up were Disney Afternoon was huge. I know it's not Saturday,
Right.
but it's huge. That was huge for me.
I'd say it still counts.
Okay, good. And in my block, because there's lots of blocks, mine would be we have DuckTales, we have Tailspin, we have Darkwing Duck,
Okay.
which meant a lot to me.
Yes.
Gummy Bears was there as well. All incredible theme songs too.
Okay.
So those were the ones growing up that me, David Fernandez, Jose Fernandez, and the North Bronx would watch after every day of elementary school.
The
Literally.
Fernandez brothers?
The Fernandezes, yeah. I'd go to their place, we'd watch it after every day of school. Loved it, adored it, and then cut to 150 years later, and I get to be one of the voices of one of those people,
Of course.
which is bananas.
You get to contribute to the legacy.
Yeah.
So that being said, of
Also
all
Turtles.
those,
You and I know a lot about
of
Turtles.
course, we can't leave out TMNT.
No, and I had the toys for Turtles. It was amazing. I was a huge Team NT fan.
So looking back at all those cartoons, like, of course, you know, growing up as kids, at least in our era, you know, being the hero and being good and all those moral lessons were jam-packed in there.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have a hero without having good villains. So, like, who would you say were your favorite cartoon villains?
Well, there's different versions. Ones that I was scared of and didn't really buy the toys of. Shredder was terrifying to me.
Really?
Shredder was terrifying to me when I was a kid. Yes, always. And different versions. In the cartoon, scary, but then in the movie, when
movie.
he turns into Super Shredder
Oh
in the
my
first
God.
one,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
kid, that's terrifying.
Terrifying.
That's the first time you learn about, like drugs that can help you. That's like
So that,
steroids. Is the
teaching
first
you
time
how
I heard
to
about
do. Yeah,
steroids.
if you want to rule the world, you got to bulk up.
Yeah.
kids.
But
You
then
gotta-
also, if you look at like Krang, it's like I'm not scared of Krang because that's insane. It's insane. It's a little brain inside or whatever. But Shredder
I used to think he was
terrifying.
chewing gum, like stuck in
Yeah.
a guy's stomach.
That's exactly right.
That's why I never chewed gum as a kid.
You were afraid of Krang, so you
Yeah.
didn't chew gum.
I would
or
turn into
a thing.
Krang, yeah.
It makes total sense.
Okay,
to
so
me.
Shredder.
Shredder definitely up there. But
Okay.
I feel like, but also like I watch X-Men the series a lot, cartoon series, the animated series quite a bit.
Yes.
Loved Magneto on that. Had a Magneto toy coming up. So I had a couple of those. And in He-Man, I had a lot of the villains because a lot of the
really?
villains were so insane. There was a mosquito there that had like blood in its tummy. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of ones like those toys, like one that, like the Juggernaut one that because like his things popped up and down.
Yeah.
But I used to those for some reason I used to love. But I remember Shredder was the one that I was really scared of. I think it was because the movie made him so scary to me. And
Yeah.
I was a kid, and it was my first sleepover. Was that movie?
Oh my
We watched
God.
that. It must have been VHS.
It's like nightmare fuel.
Yeah, and I couldn't go to sleep the whole night, and I was the only person not asleep, and I wanted to go home so badly.
For me, it would definitely have to be like Batman the Animated Series.
Oh my God, so many good villains.
I mean, the villains in DC period, but especially in Batman, like Riddler, Penguin, you know, Two-Face, you know, they're named what they are. There's no like Two-Face. You're not gonna get anything else from
Yeah.
Two-Face.
Yeah.
Clayface, Catwoman. You know, it's like they're so simple, and in live action may appear to be campy. Like if you're looking at the Adam West generation of villains. But like Batman the Animated Series, those villains to me were always so like just sad.
They're amazing. Also, that series was incredible.
Arguably, I'd say one of the best depictions of Batman, like an entire Batman universe. Flawless.
Completely agree. And the villains were amazing. I think Batman villains, in terms of me, if it was live action, in terms of me playing live action, those villains to me are like the juiciest. It's like, oh, those are so fun. The Riddler, especially, and
Yes.
Joker, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like those look like so fun because they look like human beings and then flawed human beings. And as you get older, you see like, oh my goodness, there's so much to play there.
I was gonna say, if you could like look back at your even in the animation career, like which villain would you like to play?
Oh, that's a great question. for animated, I would Joker and Riddler would be really, really fun. Maybe it's just because we're talking about that stuff now.
I mean, you would make an X. I think I was on a project where like they were like searching for a Joker, and I just kept going, Ben Schwartz,